Hi guys, I'm Turtle.
And I'm Bear. And this is Old Souls Travel. And today we're going to do our first video ever.
We're actually going to be traveling all the way around the world in the next 5 years to over 85 countries. So if you follow us.
Literally following us. Yeah, follow us. Good. All right, cheers. Come on.
And all the men are naked. On these like perpendicular angles here, and they'd be east-west.
Hey, I'm Bear.
And I'm Turtle. And welcome to Cordoba!
Welcome to St. Augustine.
Bienvenido a Puerto Rico. Aloha, my friends. We are here at La Perouse Bay.
So welcome to Ekbalam. And so far this is a really nice site. I like it because there's not nearly as many people as there were at Chichen Itza. And one of my favorite parts about it is you can still climb it.
We're here in Loquillo Beach.
Welcome to Granada.
Oh, Toledo! That's a cool city.
Welcome to Tulum.
Buenos días. We're in the Jardines de San Francisco, and this is like breathtaking.
Holy, there she is. Oh, I got a smile on my face. Oh man, I'm here. I'm at the Coliseum.
See where I'm pointing? That is the closest that we can get to Florida in Europe.
Aloha from the top of the world, at least as far as Maui is concerned. Hey cousin, which way to find?
Oh, that was fun. Just paddleboarded and kayaked into Benagil Caves in Portugal, and it's gorgeous. It's just like the Instagram pictures.
Welcome to
our home. I'm Bear. This is Turtle. This is our first video, so we wanted to help you guys get to know us a little bit better, try to understand why we love traveling, and the ultimate message for why you should travel.
Absolutely.
And hopefully you can relate to some of the stuff and just have fun with us. So we're really looking forward to this series. So beforehand, however, I think we need to discuss why this is so important to us. So why is travel important to you?
So one of the things about us as a family is we've always been about helping people and travel. And we're hoping that we can meld all that together here. I've been helping people before I was even able to travel. It was actually my career in the Coast Guard allowed me to go a lot of really cool places. And it was really those cool places that opened my eyes to how great people are and to how we're all so similar, and that made me a better person. And then you get to save a couple of lives here and there and just enjoy it. And that's kind of always been his shtick. And I like to think that had a lot to do with, by the time you were 4, we were traveling all over the world together. And so we've been doing this like father-son travel thing for a while. And I've felt like that really imparted into the man that Brendon, Bear, is at this point. What are some of your favorite things that we did when you were young or a teenager or whatever that you think shaped your life?
Yeah, so I know we talk about the big trip that we went on when I was like 4, and I've seen some pictures and stuff.
Best trip ever.
seen some pictures and stuff. I'd love to recreate it because unfortunately I really don't have a whole lot of those memories left. The first memory I can really come up with as far as traveling, like big travel, was our cruises. We did a lot of Caribbean cruises. Going to Coba was amazing. That's also when I started my mask collection. And now I get a mask everywhere I go. And it was just cool to experience those cultures in that way. And that was really the first step into my traveling experience. And I'm so blessed to have that. I just think it's really amazing everywhere that we go, being able to see how everyone is different in some ways, but very similar. And there are core beliefs that everyone shares. And that just helps everybody come together. And that is the most important thing to me about traveling. And besides food, that's my favorite part about traveling.
Oh yeah, and I obviously like a little food myself, but really what I travel for a lot of times is archaeology. After I got to spend some time in the Coast Guard and do all the things I wanted to do there, I got out and I tried to do the quintessential, like going to business school, go become successful in business, and I actually was able to do that. And I climbed the ladder too high, I think, and I got to this point where I was working like 80 hours a week. And I was absolutely miserable. And I went on a vacation with Victoria to Tulum. And I laid there floating in the water, looking up at these beautiful Maya ruins. And I just said, hey, I wanted to be Indiana Jones when I was a kid. And so I went back to UCF and studied archaeology. I got to dig in Belize and I got to dig a little in Guatemala. And everything that I learned was really amazing. And that served me really well and allowed me to develop a lot of those Coast Guard skills and things into what I hope is a really good ability to teach people things. And now I run a museum where I get to teach people all day and pretty much run my mouth. And I'm hoping that between that and a little bit of time I've gotten to be on TV and stuff, that I'm gonna be able to teach the audience, you guys, how to travel better, where to travel, give you inspiration on where to travel, and how to travel with your family or friends or loved ones or things, because I think that enriches the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. Traveling with family is amazing, and I'm glad that I get to travel with you so often. Honestly, it does make the experience so much better. And we get to feed off of each other's excitement and
each other's plates.
Yes,
other food.
Yes, food. If you're going to go somewhere and have a bunch of food, it is imperative that it is family style, because you get a taste of everything. And that's just one perk to traveling.
It's a nice budget hack too,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So you get to try a little bit of everything. The more people we travel with, the more we have fun eating and trying it, and you bounce things off of each other. And food is actually really important to bonding, but it's also really important to the human experience. We live in this really special time where we can get probably almost any type of food. But when you eat it at the source and you eat it at the place that's perfected it for hundreds to thousands of years, that's a super awesome part of travel. And if you're searching out the local foods, you're going to eat at local places, which is awesome.
Absolutely. Like when we are planning our trips, one of my favorite parts and one of the most important parts about us planning our trips is to find those local delicacies, find the best place to have them. And oftentimes, the best place to have them, according to the internet, isn't actually the best place.
No.
And then you go and you talk to locals, and that's really where you find the best places. So being able to connect with the locals is another important part about traveling.
I agree wholeheartedly, but I don't want to take away from the value of maybe going to a beach resort and just chilling with your feet up, or partying hard at Ibiza, which I'll probably never do, or you can go shopping in Milan, or all these traditional things that everybody normally does. Insert cliche vacation here, but I don't want to take away from that. It's not our brand of travel, but sometimes you just got to chill out, have a couple of drinks, and go to the included paddleboard session or whatever it is.
Hot yoga.
Hot yoga, definitely. No,
Yeah.
I don't do hot yoga. I'd probably be hotter if I did hot yoga, but that's a different story for a different time. But I don't want to poo-poo that. We did do a lot of cruising when we were more economically challenged, let's say, and got flavors for things, right? And that helped us to kind of develop some of the places we wanted to go, like going back to Chichen Itza, which we'll be covering very soon. But to really get a flavor of a place, to really like soak it in, I really feel like you have to fly out, you have to spend some time there. And it kind of comes into our core values, which is something that we really wanted to express to you guys so that you know what our agenda is before we even sell our agenda to you. Ecological.
Yep.
We've both had time as park rangers and Coast Guard coasties. And both of those things have a major role to play in environmentalism. And so one of the things that we'll do a lot of times is we'll just clean up a beach. We'll do something like that. We never are littering.
Absolutely not.
Try to recycle whenever we can. And we want to try to show you that, hey, that can be done even when everything you have to drink is out of bottled water, which is the case in a lot of places that we go. Don't drink the local water in places where you shouldn't drink the local water. But if you can recycle those bottles afterwards, then hey, at least you did a little part there. And that was really driven home to me from the very first time I started really traveling international. When I was in the Coast Guard, I had the opportunity to see a lot of these little islands in the South Pacific, Micronesia. We went to Pohnpei and Yap and Palau and like one of my favorite islands of Palmyra. But in like Pohnpei and Yap, they'd keep us in the really resorty portion of it because that was the only place that the Coast Guard ever really wanted us to stay. And I'd always just like wander off in the afternoon because I collected wood carvings, specifically turtles as much as possible. But I can remember when I'd be wandering off like that, it would get to where it didn't look resorty anymore, right? And it was really hard because there wasn't infrastructure for them to get rid of a lot of the garbage. And you could tell that it wasn't really that they didn't care. It was that it just wasn't there. We encourage you not to be part of the problem because you are all, if you're adventurous, going to go to places that it's going to seem like it's dirty. Right? That's the biggest complaint you get about India and all these places. But you can do your little part by at least not contributing to it. So that's one of the first tenets of what we're doing. And then also Brendon has studied cultural anthropology, so he's got all this relativity and stuff. We're also really about the culture.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that comes back to food. Everything comes back to food. But like I've said before, traveling is the gateway to experiencing culture, right? You can say you traveled to a place by going to a resort, but I don't really consider it traveling unless you try to live like the locals do. You experience these cultures firsthand, and by experiencing these cultures, you can become a better person, because understanding everyone else and what they're going through, how they live their life, helps you to be more tolerant, which ultimately helps you to be a better citizen of the world. And that is the most important thing that I have to say about traveling.
Agreed. And also one of the things that I like to encourage people to do, and I know we just did this with Caitlin, was to have her come out of her comfort zone just a little bit. We encourage you to come out of your comfort zone just a little bit and experience a little bit more of their real life, and then do it again. And then do it again. And eventually you're going to find yourself solo backpacking in Central America, or hospital jumping around Southeast Asia, or maybe you'll even be in Nepal. And you will blow your own mind. And then you'll have to come visit me wherever I am, and I'll give you a fist pump, because I always fist pump everybody who's decided to go to the Himalayas, because it's tough. Hey, set it on your bucket list. It's really amazing. We're going to actually talk about bucket list here coming up soon. But the environmentalism, the cultural realization, those are really important to us and what we want to try to get a hold to you. Also history. I am an archaeologist. That means I am like the biggest history geek that you probably will ever know. I know I look kind of cool and all that, maybe not, but I look cool in my own mind, and that's part of being an archaeologist too. But history, because history hand in hand with the culture. Right? History is past culture.
Right, exactly.
Right, and so it's really the same thing, and it's going to be what has developed these cultures. And there are some really, really amazing historical places that we're just going to this year. Right, and we're looking at doing a UNESCO tour of the whole world, like 89 countries in the next 5 years.
That's gonna be amazing.
And it's all about like UNESCO sites.
Right.
They're all about what makes this place special, what makes these people special, and sometimes what makes this nature special. And those are all like really close to both of our hearts.
Absolutely.
And so we hope that you guys feel the same way, and we hope that if you don't exactly feel the same way right now, give us a couple of months, watch our stuff. We're hoping that that's gonna change a little bit. The other thing that I believe in is doing things affordably and responsibly. We're very good at that.
Yes, you have definitely taught me a lot about budgeting. First of all, making a budget. Guys, make a budget.
Absolutely.
Seriously, it's so important. If you are interested in traveling or really interested in doing anything other than the monotonous day-to-day activities, you gotta have a budget, and we wouldn't be able to do like anything that we do.
Right, we're staying
if it wasn't for we don't make very much money.
No, we do not make a lot of money
at all.
But we do travel a lot.
Yeah, we get to travel a lot, and a big part of that is budgeting and travel hacks. And
of course, my favorite travel hack is credit card churning. We do a really good job with credit card churning. We earned 1.8 million miles /points /reward points /whatever last year. And what that's turned into is roughly $20,000 in free flights and hotels. And really enjoy that. It does take a little bit of work to get that done, but I like free things. And so if you're gonna tell me that you're gonna give me something free and tax-free, then I am all in. Hopefully you stay within your means when you go there, and hopefully we'll teach you a little bit about budgeting while you're on the trip. Some trips you don't wanna budget. We'll talk about a couple in next week's episode that it's like you have to budget for it, but when you're there, you aren't cutting.
Yeah, you don't want to live on a budget in some of these places, because some of these places you have to do the popular things. You have to just go full out, but you need to create your budget so that you can afford to do it the right way.
Right, and everybody's budget's different.
Yep.
You could be a millionaire watching me. If so, subscribe to our Patreon. But hey, everybody's in a different place.
Yep.
And the bottom line is, with as little as we actually bring in from our day-to-day job, we travel really well. There are millionaires that don't travel as well as we do, and that's been something that we've always prioritized. And hopefully something that you guys will prioritize as well.
And speaking of traveling well, we just got back from Mexico, which was awesome. We went and saw Chichen Itza again. We got to see Ekbalam. That was the first time I'd been to Ekbalam.
That was awesome. You could still climb it.
I know, that was amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, El Torre was awesome. We also went to Tulum. It was the first time I'd been there. You'd been there before, but it was the first time I got to experience it, which was
loved
really
it just
cool.
as much the second time.
Oh,
Except
yeah.
we couldn't swim at the same place.
Right,
So.
right. But we did do some cool swimming. You know, we got to swim in cenote, which was really cool.
The only thing I would say about the Mexico trip that I didn't love was driving in Tulum.
Well, one thing I have to say is I was not envious of you driving.
Oh yeah, I bet you weren't.
Oh man, it looked like hell.
Yeah, I would not drive in Tulum again, especially trying to go down to the beach. It was kind of chaotic, but we had to do it so that we could both do the intro to next week's film, and so that I could maybe look like I was smart because I kind of know something about the Maya. And speaking of things that I kind of know something about, I run a Spanish treasure museum. So we did and are going to do a few things that are related to that, which is kind of cool. Some of our time in Spain had to do with that. A lot of it had to do with food. A lot of it had to do with architecture, food. We're going to talk a lot about food fusion in our Spain section, a little bit in our Portugal section. You guys will be really jealous. That was a great trip. I'm telling you.
That was an awesome trip.
We did Spain. We ate at the oldest restaurant in the entire world.
Oh man, that was amazing.
And Pepe comped it for us.
I know.
So mad props to you, Pepe.
Yeah,
I love
thanks,
Pepe. And then we went down into Granada and Cordoba, which just blew my mind. Spain is now my second favorite European country that I've been to. Spain was really, especially Andalusia, super amazing. Went over to Algarve. Algarve's been voted the best beach for like 5 years in a row by like at least most of the British companies. They were
gorgeous beaches. Yeah. I wish we had more time on the beaches because I love me some beaches.
Yeah, love the beaches.
Oh man, I love the beach.
Yeah, especially there. They were really gorgeous. We got a little bit of bodyboarding in, which was cool. And
got to do a little cliff diving.
Or jumping.
Yeah,
yes, not diving. But we had fun there. We swung over to Madeira.
Yep.
We're gonna do a vlog on Madeira itself, but then we're gonna do the one that I really like is I went to Maui without him. Is the one that we're going to do that contrasts Madeira and Maui. That's going to be pretty awesome. And then after that, this one's really close to my heart. We always want to have a give back in everything that we do. That's something that I've tried to ingrain in him. I think it was ingrained from my mom. My mom is like the sweetest person in the whole entire world. I throw down the gauntlet if anybody thinks their mom is sweeter. We can argue about it below. But my mom is absolutely amazing. And she always structured into us that if we're not making things better, then we're making things worse. All right, and so we always have a give back. And so one of my favorite things that I've gotten to do recently was, if these guys had to fly home, I have more vacation time than he does and a lot more than my wife does. So they had to fly home after Madeira. I got to take one of my docents and close friends. He studied archaeology at Harvard, but he was also a professional football player, and then he was a football coach and a teacher his whole life. He never went over to see the archaeology he studied his whole life. So I took him to Rome, Pompeii, Herculaneum. We're gonna have some really sweet videos about that, and you're gonna get to know Coach, and I am sure that you are going to love Coach as much as I do.
Keep it going.
And we're planning on doing more of those as we can. And so if you have a friend who you think might need that, it's always something we would be willing to talk about. We did a GoFundMe to actually fund the whole thing. So that was super awesome. That made me feel really good.
And speaking of trips that have to do with Spanish treasure, aren't you going on a couple of little trips?
Yeah, I'm excited about this. It's like every time now that I get 4 or 5 days off because I worked the whole weekend, I finagle this like little trip. And so I'm actually gonna be in Panama like 3 days after this airs. And we're gonna go and see Portobello, which was a really important port for the Tierra Firma fleet. And we had 11 ships shipwrecked here. And then I'm gonna get to go to Cartagena, where they loaded up even more gold and silver, and they have this really sweet port that's still intact and still used today, a nice gold museum. We're gonna share all of that so that we can more edify the people who come into my museum, and so I can tell them about my show.
Yeah.
But it's all about all of those things coming onto our shores in the Treasure Coast.
Our shores are pretty awesome, and I think we're supposed to be doing some vlogs just in our backyard. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to the one that's about my museum, essentially. We're going to talk about the 1715 fleet, and I'm bringing in some celebrity metal detectors. I can't tell you who they are. It's top secret at this point. But stand by for that one. It will come out this summer sometime, and it's really one of the coolest places in all of Florida, and it's related to St. Augustine, so we're going to shoot in St. Augustine and probably do a mini vlog there.
Oh yeah, I love St. Augustine.
Yeah, and there's so many other places here, and being park rangers, we actually get into all the state parks for free, so we're going to hopefully get you a lot of those. If you're really excited about first person vlogs, then vote yes down there. All you have to do is say yes, yes, yes. And that means Brendon has to run around shirtless with even shorter shorts, pretending he's Trapper Nelson for like a first-person reenactment with a stuffed alligator. I'll make sure he does it. All right?
Stuffed alligator.
A stuffed alligator, yes. Maybe we'll even borrow the snake from Jonathan Dickinson, and you can wrestle with that too. But love me some Florida. I love all the states. I actually have this thing called the 50-50-50 challenge, and I don't know if I made it up or not, but if I did, I will patent it later. You guys need to do it, all right? If you are less than, let's say, 45 years old, it might be doable depending on your economic status and how much vacation you got.
Yeah.
Here's what it is, baby. 50 states, 50 nations, before you're 50 years old. And it's a real challenge, especially if you start at like 40 like I did, getting it all scheduled in. It is scheduled in, by the way. It was a little hard to do, and COVID really stood in my way, but you should definitely do the 50-50-50. And I'm knocking 2 of my 6 remaining out, and I'm going to be sharing those with you this year when I share my Oregon trip where I went overlanding. I'm going to do some overlanding in Utah also. I went back to Hawaii, to Maui, which is my favorite island in Hawaii, and the driving there is spectacular, and there's some Onegines cause. And then I'm going to go over to Puerto Rico with my sweetheart, and that's going to be romantical, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the castles there, because again, that's kind of related to the Spanish.
Right.
And I know we've got some international trips coming up as well, and I know you're looking forward to the other Central America, right?
Oh yeah, so we got a couple of trips, but I'm really looking forward to our Costa Rica trip this spring. We got a lot of trips this year, but that one's just gonna be awesome. I mean, just the natural beauty of the rainforest, and there's volcanoes, and there's waterfalls, and the beach looks awesome. Looking forward to doing some body surfing there. It should be a lot of fun.
Nice food. I'm actually gonna rent a surfboard. It's been a little while, guys, and I've got to find a way to have a sloth wrapped around my neck. That just looks like the best opportunity ever. They're like almost as snuggly as koala bears. I actually got to feed baby chimps with Jane Goodall. Maybe I'll share that with you guys sometime. It was pretty tight. Anthropologists get to do really cool things, BTW. But I know there's another one that you're looking forward to even more, and I know this is your favorite. So take it away, Brendon. Tell us all about our September trip.
Okay, so our September trip is Oktoberfest. This has been one that we had planned for a couple of years now, and it's finally coming together. Hopefully. Yeah. Screw you, COVID.
Yeah.
Stay away.
COVID.
But we're gonna go to Germany, go to Munich, experience Oktoberfest there. But one of the cool parts is we're gonna go to like Vienna, and they have a little bit of an Oktoberfest there. Prague doesn't necessarily have an Oktoberfest, but they have a big beer scene. So it's already a cultural beer experience. Yeah, it's already.
And the beers are $1, not $11. So that one's going to be a little bit more on the discount side. Yeah. And we have family from there, which is going to be cool. And we're going to get to do some etchings in the old Jewish quarter. So that'll be spectacular. And then we're going to do some castles and
yeah, we're gonna do some hiking.
Right, in Zakopane, Slovakia.
Oh, man.
And then we're gonna just end it all out laying back. Not you, because you gotta go home. Me and Victoria gonna be laying back in Budapest, hot springs and massages. That's the best way to end a vacation anyway. And that's gonna be an awesome trip.
Oh man.
But I gotta tell you, like, for what we're doing in the future,
Right.
going on another big solo trip with you is what really gets me going. We're going to Greece in less than 6 weeks, and Cyprus.
I know. I'm getting really excited.
Yeah, Greece is awesome. I've been to Greece. Meteora is out of this world. It should be so much higher on my bucket list. But you learn those things when you get there sometimes. We're not going to go to Meteora this time. We're going to get Athens, though.
Yep.
Delphi, Corinth, and at least Olympia, if not some of the other little city-states down in the Peloponnese. And then we're going to fly over to Cyprus and do both sides. This is going to be really interesting, and it comes with the additional benefit of Turkish flavors that get added.
Yeah.
We're really excited about those, and we're hoping that you'll be excited about those also, and that you'll start planning your own. And no matter where we go, we're going to take you with us all the way. And you can expect some historical flavor, some flavor, a little bit of culture, a little bit of nature, and a whole heck of a lot of adventure. So stick with us. And if you have a favorite place that you've ever traveled, why don't you add that to all your other comments down in the bottom, and I'll read every single one of them.
And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as we enjoyed making it. It was a lot of fun. If you guys do like this kind of content, please like and subscribe below. And as always,
Find yourself on the journey.